Please be aware, in this podcast series we talk about all areas of safeguarding, which some people may find upsetting. So please make sure you're okay listening to today's topic. Be mindful of those around you, such as children, that you might not want to listen in. Hi, I'm SSS Safeguarding Director Sam Preston.
And I'm former head teacher and content author Sara Spinks.
Welcome to a special edition of our podcast. In this conversation, we're diving deep into the complex landscape of mobile phone policies in schools across England. So this is a topic that warrants really careful examination, considering, its multifaceted implications for both students and educators. So let's begin by dissecting the recent government directive aimed at curbing mobile phone use during the school day. So, Sarah, what are your thoughts? I'm just thinking, you as a former head teacher, having looked at the guidance, what are your thoughts on the objectives behind this government directive, and how do you perceive its potential impact?
Well, Sam, beyond just minimising disruption and improving behaviour in the classrooms, the government's directive also aligns with broader safeguarding objectives. Their aim, I think, is setting clear guidelines and expectations regarding mobile phone use, and the aim to create a sort of more focused learning environment that's conducive to academic success, while I think simultaneously addressing concerns around online safety and digital wellbeing. However, it's essential to acknowledge the diverse range of perspectives on this issue, as evidenced by the mixed reactions from various stakeholders we've had, including school leaders, teachers, parents, and students themselves.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, delving into, those perspectives, on one hand, we have proponents of stricter mobile phone policies who argue excessive, device usage can lead to distractions, cyberbullying, and a host of other challenges that impede learning and well-being. On the other hand, there are those who advocate for more nuanced approaches, emphasising, the educational potential of technology and the importance of teaching students responsible device usage. So how do you see schools navigating these different viewpoints?
Well, it's a really delicate balancing act, Sam, particularly concerning safeguarding. Schools must consider various factors, including their unique context, student demographics, and available resources when formulating those mobile phone policies. For instance, while some schools may opt to outright ban on mobile phones, others might decide to adopt a more flexible approach that allows for a controlled usage during designated times or for specific educational purposes. Ultimately, the goal is to strike a balance that's not only promotes digital literacy and fosters responsible behaviour, but, also ensures the safety and the well-being of all students, really.
Yeah, and I think we've got to acknowledge that there are, some incidents where mobile phones are being used as protective elements. I'm just thinking my daughter actually was, she's anaphylactic to bees, and she had a mobile phone, right the way through her primary and secondary career that was used as a safety measure. So I think, it's a much wider issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's shift the focus to the practical implementation then of these policies. What are examples of strategies that schools can employ to create a phone-free learning environment whilst, addressing potential challenges?
Well, there's no one-size-fits-all solution, Sam, especially when considering safeguarding measures. Schools may choose to implement policies such as requiring students to hand in their phones at the start of the day, storing them in designated lockers or secure areas, or enforcing strict rules against visible or audible phone usage during school hours. Additionally, educators can leverage alternative tools and resources, such as tablets or laptops, to facilitate learning activities that would traditionally rely on mobile phones. I think by setting clear expectations, that providing adequate support, and fostering that sort of open communication with students and parents, schools could effectively manage that transition to a mobile phone-free environment while prioritising safeguarding. It's going to be very much a school decision.
Yeah, but that's a comprehensive, overview, really. So let's broaden the discussion and consider the broader, societal implications of mobile phone usage among young people. How do you see this issue intersecting with ongoing conversations about children's digital well-being and online safety?
Well, I think that is a critical intersection, Sam, and one that requires a sort of holistic approach to safeguarding. And as digital technologies continue to permeate every aspect of our lives, it's really essential to prioritise the well-being of young people in those digital spaces. Mobile phones can be powerful tools for communication, learning and creativity, but they also really insidiously pose those risks, including exposure to inappropriate content, online harassment, and that sort of excessive screen time. I think by promoting digital literacy, teaching responsible online behaviour and fostering that sort of supportive school environment grounded in safeguarding principles, I think there is a real chance to empower young people to navigate that digital world safely and responsibly as best as we can, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just reflect on some of the key points we've covered so far, particularly in terms of safeguarding measures. We've explored the motivations behind, the government's directive on mobile phone policies in schools, examined the diverse perspectives on the issue, and discussed practical strategies for implementation. But let's turn attention now to the role of parents and educators in shaping students' attitudes and behaviours towards their mobile phone usage, with a particular emphasis on safeguarding principles. I mean, how can parents and schools work together to promote responsible device usage, to just ensure the well-being of young people in today's digital age?
Well, I think it has to be a collaborative effort, that's grounded in those safeguarding principles, Sam. Parents play a crucial role as role models and mentors in guiding their children's online behaviour and instilling those healthy habits from a young age. I think we too often see young children sitting there on devices and used as a sort of holding mechanism, really, to keep attention. I think there needs to be an establishment of clear boundaries, that fostering that open communication and leading by example. Parents could help create that supportive home environment where technology is used mindfully and responsibly. However, many parents are racing to keep up with their children's greater knowledge and skills using technology. So there is an argument for schools to keep educating parents to help them to do this through training and regularly sharing information and resources.
Yeah.
And similarly, educators can integrate digital literacy education into the curriculum, providing students with the knowledge and skills they need to navigate the digital world safely and critically while prioritising that sort of safeguarding principles every step of the way. It's that critical skills thought, isn't it, really? Really important.
Definitely. And let's not forget the importance, of, you're not going to be surprised when I say this, Sarah, maybe me, the importance of ongoing research and dialogue in informing effective policies and practices, especially concerning safeguarding. As technology continues to evolve, it's essential to stay informed about emerging trends, risks, and opportunities in that digital landscape. By collaborating rather with researchers, policymakers and industry stakeholders, because we mustn't forget them. Schools can adapt their approaches to align with best practices and evidence-based recommendations, and ensure that safeguarding remains at the forefront of their efforts to promote digital wellbeing and online safety. And then, as you've said, share that with parents and carers.
Absolutely, yeah. And I now think it's worth taking a moment to reflect on the broader implications of mobile phone policy in the schools, Sam. How do you see this issue evolving in the coming years? And what are some potential areas do you think for further exploration and action, do you think?
Gosh. Well, it's clear that mobile phone policies in schools will continue to be a topic of debate and discussion, that's for sure. And as technology advances and society, norms evolve, schools are going to have to remain agile and responsive to the changing needs and challenges of students. Moving forward, I believe there's a need for ongoing research, collaboration and innovation to develop holistic approaches that promote digital wellbeing, that foster positive relationships with technology, really foster that rather than, let's put it in a cupboard. I think we've got to think about fostering those positive relationships with technology and empower young people to thrive in a digital world.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm interested, Sarah, I don't know if you know this, what are the teaching unions saying about the guidance?
Well, it's quite interesting, really. The Association of School and College Leaders, the ASCL, that union expressed scepticism regarding the potential impact of the new guidance. According to their General Secretary, Jeff Barton, many schools already enforce restrictions on mobile phone usage during the school day or permit usage only under sort of specific conditions. Barton, he remarked on the repeated announcements by ministers regarding crackdowns on mobile phones in schools, labelling it as a non-issue, actually. And he suggested that governmental efforts would be more effectively directed towards regulating online platforms that provide access to concerning and extreme content. He emphasised the importance of focusing on significant matters such as funding, special educational needs support, and sort of addressing infrastructure concerns in school. That infrastructure concern, really, which are of greater concern to parents than revisiting the topic of mobile phone policies. So he was seeing it as a non-issue rather than the government's sort of stance on it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I would agree. And it kind of goes back to what I was sort of saying about, we've got to work towards enabling young people to have these positive relationships.
Yeah, it's not going away, is it? Technology is in no way. It's only getting more and more deep into our lives, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm guessing, the conversation on mobile devices, it's not going to end here with this guidance. Well, and it's definitely, a topic we'll continue to explore, and we'll stay engaged and, hopefully play some part in shaping that best practice.
Absolutely.